Hello, FlossTube. How are you? Welcome. I'm Julie with Reflections Framing and Stitching. Today is Monday. It is the 10th of May. And this is going to be chart of the week, whatever. I'm going to number it after the last chart of the day, which I didn't stop to look back and see what that was. Because it's been so long. So this will follow the chart of the day videos, but I think I'm going to try doing maybe a chart of the week and do it on my day off, which is on Mondays. So we'll see how that goes. I had to go into the shop this morning to get a couple of things done, so I gathered up some stuff and thought I'd try and knock out a video. So I hope everyone had a good Mother's Day that celebrates Mother's Day. Mine was quiet. Dan went up to visit his mother, and Abby was on call, and so she couldn't leave. And as the weather was kind of, I had thought briefly about going out to visit, but the weather was kind of crappy, and I didn't want to be driving in the rain for the first time, driving myself out to the farm. So I just stayed home. I watched a movie on Amazon Prime, and then 8 episodes of the first season of Bones, which I'd seen before, but it's been a long time and it just sounded good. So I watched 8 episodes of that and did some stitching. So I had a quiet day, but it was a nice day. I hope yours was good. So I'm going to keep these videos short. So I'm going to hop right into what the chart of the week is, which is from Long Dog Samplers. You know, Dan tends to refer to them as Long Dong Samplers. I tend to stumble over that dog word because I'm so used to hearing him say it the other way. So excuse me for my stutter. This is Live and Let Live. It's a new release. Very bright and colorful. I think it's beautiful. The stitch count is 176 by 186. There's a DMC and a Gentle Arts conversion. This is the Gentle Arts colors on the top here, on the cover. There is some differences between the two, and I'm going to hold them up individually so you can really see the difference. But I am, based on these colors, I'm pretty sure that this is not the DMCs, it's the Gentle Arts. So let me start with that. So I'll show you all the colors and I'll show you some fabric choices, and then we'll be done. And you can go on about your day. First one up is Chamomile, which the DMC color is 371. So as you can see, this is more gold. It's got, you know, some of this color in it, but not a lot. Let's see, how can I do this? Maybe like that, so you can truly see the difference. Okay, and then Raven is next. Raven is these are all, the overdyes are all Gentle Arts. Raven is a black, but it has green in it, so it's not as black as DMC 310, and you can kind of see the green up in here. Pink Azalea, which is 3687 for the DMC, and again you will notice quite a bit of difference in the color between the next one. You're really going to see a big difference in. Like, that's going to give you a totally different look on your finished piece. Claret is the overdyed, and 601 is the DMC. Not going to say anything about that. Geranium and 349. Geranium is a little softer in color than the 349. tarnished gold and 420. Those are pretty similar. I would say the tarnished gold is maybe a little darker than the other in real life. Faded rose, this one you'll see a lot of difference in. Faded rose in 3772. Now, this is a faded rose from my personal stash because somewhere between the shop and the house, I lost the faded rose. So I have a feeling it might have fallen on the floor when I was packing things up at the shop. So I just brought one from my stash, which is older. The faded rose that I have in the shop has more of this brownish color in it than what my skein does, but it's still not as dark as what the DMC is, which is 3772. This one you'll see quite a bit of difference in. Corn husk and 3013. Pumpkin pie. This is again from my stash because I haven't had pumpkin pie for a while. And the DMC is 976. You know, the days of my being able to see, even with squinting, are kind of over. I really should be wearing glasses whenever I try and read anything. So those are pretty close. Spring grass and 906. There is a color difference, depth of color. I mean, there's obviously. Poppy and 891. Again, pretty big difference. And Victorian pink and 3716. Those are pretty close. But as you can see, if you do the DMC over instead of the Gentle Arts, you are going to get a different look in your finished piece because some of those colors are wildly different and it will change things up a little bit. So for my purposes, I'm just going to use the overdyed and show you those on the fabrics. I think the DMC will look fine on these fabrics too. So we'll just use the overdyes. Getting them on a ring right now because I only have two hands. Dan said something yesterday. Oh, last night I had to wash my sheets yesterday because I had macerated maybe that's it. I completely smashed a spider in my bedding and I didn't know where it went. So I had to like strip the bed and do all the sheets and the blanket and the bedspread and stuff yesterday. So when he got home last night, I needed to go upstairs and I didn't do it right when I got home. I waited until bedtime and then I'm like, oh crap, I need to make the bed. So I asked him if he could carry my mug and my iPad upstairs for me because I didn't have enough arms. And he said he guessed he should have married an octopus. And I said, well, I guess you probably should have because I don't have enough arms to carry that. Okay, story time is over. Let me spread these out. The first fabric I chose is just an antique white. This happens to be a 36. Antique white is very hard to come by right now. So I think the dyers probably bought it all up. But there's the colors. As you can see, they would look really nice on the antique white. I have Tyco. This is an 16 count Ada in Tyco from PTP. Not a whole lot of movement in this particular piece that I have. Normally it's got some yellow. Allergies. Normally it has some yellow and kind of some greenish, grayish color in it, but the colors would look fine on there too. I kind of thought the picture, in person anyway, of this just looked like it had a slight green tint to the background, so, which I thought would be pretty, so I did pick up, I think this is 36 count limestone. I don't know what's going on there. It is a very, very pale green. This next fabric is a 32 count antique lace. I think this is a seraphim. Yes, a seraphim fabric. It's kind of a yellowy color, not in your face yellow, but a yellower neutral. Colors would look good on that. And then the last one I pulled is a 40 count vellum, and I pulled this for a reason. To show you the difference in dye lots sometimes. So sometimes when I give you a color suggestion, because they're just suggestions, my opinions, and you go to your LNS and you buy that color from them, which is perfectly fine, support your LNS, and you get it home and you go, well, what was she talking about? This is kind of to demonstrate that. This is 40 count vellum. It is very green. This is 40 count vellum. It is not green. So you can see the difference there. I would like the colors on this. I would not necessarily like the colors on that. I haven't laid it on there, so we're going to. But on the light green, I think that would be very, very pretty. And so if I were to suggest vellum, it would be this green batch of vellum. And I don't know if anyone else has the green batch of vellum or not. The whole point of this was to show you the difference in dye lots, and you know, it would be fine on the other. It just isn't the color that I showed you. So keep that in mind when you're you know, if you're going to buy something that I've recommended. It may or may not be similar to what I have, depending on the dye lot. And I know people like to complain a lot about dye lots and why they can't be the same from time to time. A lot of that has to do with the chemicals that are put into your water. They affect how the fabric takes the dye, and it changes the color that it turns out. So, you know, chemicals are good and bad, and you never know what the city's going to put in from day to day, because it changes from day to day. So depending on, you know, so one day it might have more of this and less of that, and the next day it might have less of that and more of this, and so the dyer's hands are somewhat tied as far as making dye lots look the same. So don't yell at your dyers. They're oftentimes their hands are tied. Okay, so that is your chart of the week. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you all have a great week, and we will hopefully see you next Monday for the next chart of the week video. Bye.